Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Before I get started, I just wanted to say a big mahalo to Civil Beat. It's so wonderful that they are hosting these events that bring community together. And a special thank you to Ashley and to Alana, who mentored us through this whole process. Can you all hear me? How's that? Thank you. Can you hear me? All right. Well, thank you. Aloha, my name is Heather Mohr. And if you had asked me years ago what kind of mother I would be, I would have answered with complete confidence. I had not only dreamed of motherhood my whole life, but I also had the resume to be a really good one. I hold a degree in early childhood in psychology. I worked with children who had been through the unimaginable as a preschool teacher at a child abuse intervention school. I did youth advocacy with some of the toughest, most street smart kids you can imagine. And for fun, I led teenagers on backpacking trips through the wilderness for 30 days at a time. With my experience and the love my husband and I shared, I wasn't intimidated by parenthood. If anything, I believed it would come naturally, like the job I was always meant to do. And then, of course, I had kids. There's a family video that makes its rounds every Mother's Day. If you ever want to understand the essence of my motherhood experience, this would be it. I'm holding our newborn daughter, who is screaming at a decibel that could shatter glass. Our 2-year-old is latched onto my legs, also screaming, and our 4-year-old is sitting on my feet, also crying because he had slammed his finger in the door. And my husband is filming the whole thing, laughing in the background. Not because he's cruel, but because he is absolutely and hilariously helpless. They all want me. They are literally clinging to me. At the time, it was pure chaos, but now it makes me laugh. Beyond the humor, it was a snapshot of what motherhood had become for me. 3 kids, 1 mama, the lifeline for all. Before motherhood, my life was one of ease and adventure. My husband Ryan and I lived in Waikiki, surfing and sailing at every possible moment. I actually surfed up until the day I gave birth, but somehow I still found myself in a hospital room, strapped to monitors, induced for preeclampsia. This was my first lesson in motherhood. You can plan all you want, but you cannot control. And so began a journey of letting go, of learning to navigate life's unexpected twists. Jack Johnson has a line: "You better be careful when you've got good love, because them angels, they just keep on multiplying." Jack had warned us, and sure enough, baby number 1 was quickly followed by baby number 2, and then baby number 3, Harper, Hanalei, and Miley. Ow, ow, ow. This is our family call. Motherhood was everything I had dreamed of. Deeply fulfilling, endlessly magical, a love beyond anything I had ever known. But it was also relentless. I found myself both overwhelmed with gratitude and utterly exhausted, navigating the absurd, the comical, and completely nonsensical world of toddlers. There is no amount of conflict resolution training that could prepare me for the emotional roller coaster of a 3-year-old. They do not respond to de-escalation strategies when mid-meltdown because I've cut their sandwich into triangles instead of squares. And logic is completely useless. The title to this story, Toddler Forecast, 100% chance of tears. The day my son sobbed uncontrollably because it was raining and he wanted to play outside, only to burst into tears again when the rain had suddenly stopped. The only thing that finally soothed him was me turning on the shower, creating his own personal rainstorm. The same tiny humans who filled my heart to bursting also left me sleep-deprived and questioning my sanity. But before my kids had tested every ounce of my patience, Ryan and I had big dreams for how we wanted to raise them. We were surfers before we were parents, and we believed in the saltwater cure. We wanted our kids barefoot, wild, and free, connected to the Aina and to something bigger than themselves. That dream became Keiki and Plow, our fourth baby. It was a farm built on a simple belief: stay wild, my child. We wanted our kids and other families to have a place to dig their hands into the earth, to learn resilience, and to grow alongside the land. And it worked. Keiki and Plow blossomed. In our first year as a nonprofit, we served over 10,000 keiki. It was wildly beautiful. It was everything we had dreamed and nothing we could have prepared for. While the farm was thriving, behind the scenes, there was a different story unfolding. The weight of building our dream was taking its toll. The long hours, the financial pressures, and endless responsibilities began to wear on Ryan as he balanced not only the demands of Keiki and Plow and parenting, but his own startup company. The weight of it all triggered what we later learned was bipolar disorder, a genetic illness that had been dormant until stress brought it to the surface. While our farm and business thrived, our home life grew more and more fragile. Ryan was struggling, and I was doing everything I could to hold it all together, keeping our vision alive while also trying to support him, our family, and myself through a storm that we never saw coming. For 18 months, we rode a relentless roller coaster: new medications, hospitalizations, manic highs, and crushing depressive lows. Hope would flicker with each new treatment, only to fade as the cycles repeated. We fought for stability, for healing, and for answers, but they never came. Ryan lost his battle when our kids were just 5, 7, and barely 10. I had been 36 for less than a week, but I found myself a widow, a single mama to 3, and responsible for 4 acres of demanding land. And once again, my 3 kids were clinging to me. Suddenly, parenting wasn't about raising my kids wild and free. It was about survival, holding us together when everything felt like it was falling apart. It was about keeping the farm alive, not just as a business, but as a place where healing could happen for the kids and for me. There is something about screaming chickens and goats in your front yard that motivates you to get out of bed when it otherwise feels impossible. That and 3 hungry kids. And then, because life wasn't complicated enough, the world shut down. The pandemic was in full swing. My kids were homeschooling, and the entire model of our farm, bringing people together, was suddenly impossible. In fact, it was illegal. Several driveway cries, which is my favorite spot on the farm, sleepless nights, and lots of support from family and friends, we somehow managed to pivot our entire operation seemingly overnight. With the same spirit of resilience that had carried us this far, our little farm transformed into a growing hub in partnership with organizations like Chef Hui, feeding those who needed it most in these times. We dug in, planting, growing, nurturing, not just the land, but ourselves. The community that we had worked so hard to build was now sustaining us and loving us, supporting us, and helping to piece us back together. Farming became more than just a way to sustain our home. It became a path to healing and a reminder that even after the hardest seasons, new life still emerges. Looking back, I realized that this thread of resilience, the ability to shift, to adapt, to keep moving forward, and to rely on our community became part of our healing journey. And while the farm was a sanctuary, it was also a reminder of everything that we had lost. So with family and friends nervously cheering us on, I did something a little crazy. I packed up my kids, I crammed way too much into a van that was way too small, and we hit the road. For weeks, we lived on top of each other, sleeping in a tangle of limbs, our suitcases doubling as pillows. Our Yeti cooler, which was meant for snacks, became a makeshift washing machine, sloshing our salty, crab-scented clothes clean as we bumped down winding highways. We chased waterfalls and watched bison graze in the misty fields of Washington and counted shooting stars until our eyes couldn't stay open. The sailing trips, crystal clear water, the lull of the boat rocking beneath us, the endless horizon stretching beyond what we could see. We snorkeled through reefs bursting with color, explored old pirate caves that smelled like damp history, and played cards around the galley table as the boat swayed in the night. And the snow trips, those were about something deeper. We weren't just snowboarding and building snowmen, we were reconnecting, sitting around fireplaces with old friends, some who had known Ryan as a child, sharing memories that stitched him back into the present. Each adventure was more than just a trip. It was a way forward, a way for us to hold on and let go at the same time. Adventure had become our therapy. Through it all, I watched my kids grow, not just in height, but in who they were. They became braver, more adaptable, and I learned to breathe again, to trust myself, to laugh and embrace the duality of this new life. If there's one thing I've learned in this wild journey of parenthood, it is this. You don't have to have all of the answers, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to show up and keep showing up. It's been 4 years since we lost Ryan. Each year has brought a new set of challenges and a countless list of joys. We've met each one by simply showing up as best as we can, day after day. This past year in particular, one word has encapsulated my days: prayerful. The mantra, "Pray and plant flowers," has been my guiding light. Each day, as I walked the farm, my prayer often simply began with, "Help, you know, and thank you even now." This year, we made the decision to move off of the farm. It wasn't an easy choice. Ryan and I have built Keiki and Plow together, and I sustained it through the hardest moments of our lives. But seasons change, and while we once planned to sell, life has had other ideas. The timeline has shifted, and we still find ourselves running the programming and the farm, just from a bit more distance, with greater perspective and a lot more balance. The future remains uncertain, but we are committed to embracing whatever comes next, saying yes to challenges while making space to say a wholehearted yes to adventure. Packing up and stepping back from the farm has been a lesson in accepting those shifting seasons and holding gratitude for what was while remaining open to what will be. It's a reminder that we always have a choice in this life, and we are choosing to move forward with curiosity, courage, and a readiness for whatever adventure awaits. Motherhood and exploration have filled me with unparalleled joy. I am alive and present and in awe of my children's maturity, their joy, and their unbreakable bond. This story isn't one that I ever expected to write, but this journey is one I am so deeply proud of. We are the Mohrs, and we have and we will keep choosing to believe that there is more. Thank you. Thank you.